Alright, so I know I keep saying that I'm gonna do the reception, but I still feel like it's not ready yet. And by not ready, I mean I need to figure out the entrance. You know, before I said, well, I need to figure out the ceiling there before I can do it, and then I need to figure out the stairs, and now I need to figure out the entrance, because obviously the entrance has a big influence on what's going to happen in here. If there's going to be a small door, then it's going to be small pathways. If it's going to be a large opening like that, then it's going to be a different, you know? And I've just decided, well, I haven't just decided, I haven't said anything about this since the beginning, I don't think. But remember how I said I wanted something special with red, the color red? I was thinking giant red curtains. I mean, obviously we can't have curtains in Minecraft, everything is square, but giant red curtains, basically. And I don't know about you guys, but you don't often see curtains in computer games. I don't know if you've noticed. I mean, first of all, it's difficult to do fabric in computer games because, you know, it's just the physics and then the geometry and all that. It's not efficient in terms of geometry. Obviously, a square is, you know, 8 vertices and then however many, 12 polygons. Whereas, you know, fabric is usually not straight shapes and whatnot. But also, I think it's partly because most computer games are designed by men. And men don't think about curtains or tablecloths. You know? Like fabric, I don't wanna, you know, presume anything, but in terms of just culture and what we expect from different genders, I usually don't, whoa, don't jump like that. You usually don't expect men to talk about curtains. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that's a bit controversial, maybe you disagree, maybe you, I don't know. Maybe like if you're a interior designer, but it's just not a very masculine thing, right? Curtains. And then bed sheets and tablecloths. I mean, these days you don't really, you shouldn't pay too much attention to those gender distinctions anymore because, you know, we live in a pretty liberal time. But nevertheless, that sort of thing still has an effect in the sense that there's still some legacy and you know, old habits and things like that. I mean, if a guy tells you he wants to go into fashion design, right? You'd think he's a bit feminine. You know, maybe he's gay, and maybe he really is gay. Or maybe he's just a straight guy who likes fabric. That's okay as well. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, those stereotypes and those things still exist. Wow, that guy's just strolling on the railings. You know, like those stereotypes and things still exist. So what's going on there? Oh, nothing. That's just a strange angle. See, I like that already. It's slightly more round. The wool, I don't know, it's just slightly more, it's softer. Just by doing that, it makes that shape a bit softer. Obviously nothing masculine about being soft, right? But again, I think it's time we paid more attention to curtains and tablecloths. Just cause, you know, video games have long been boys, you know, guys. like men, well mostly boys, play video games. I guess girls do as well, but there's always the assumption that, you know, girls don't play video games as much as guys, which may or may not be true. I mean, it's not necessarily true these days. Maybe they play different games. Maybe they're not as interested in the hardcore shooters and fighting games and stuff like that. But you know, with Minecraft, there's not much violence. There's not much combat. I mean, there can be if you really want to. And building blocks might also be traditionally considered a boys' sort of toy. But you know, it's a Minecraft is a very casual game. There's definitely nothing holding back girls from playing it. I don't think. I don't see why there should be any reason for girls to, you know, not play Minecraft if they want to. And I just think that, you know, the fact that gaming is, or video gaming is a male-dominated sort of thing, it's not a given. I think it's just so happens that 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, yeah. I think it's just a coincidence more than anything. I don't really think, you know, like things like science. I don't know if that's a coincidence, if that's culture, if it's history, if it's something that we're moving away from, or if it's something that's biological, who knows. But I don't see why we can't have giant curtains in our skyscraper. And you'll notice I had like, what was that, like 9 stacks of red wool. Already used up almost, well, I used up 3 of them, 3 and a bit. You can see I need a lot of wool. As you know, red wool comes from sheep, and sheep take quite a while to generate that wool, so this is gonna take me a while to get enough wool to do this, if I want to do this. I mean, yeah, like my mum plays video games. That's pretty cool, right? I mean, she plays pretty casual games, Bejeweled, stuff like that. But you know, she plays video games. Sudoku, I guess that's not really a video game, but she plays it on the computer. It's pretty cool, right? I mean, she's getting older, but you know, it's a good way to occupy your mind. Oh, look, those 2 guys are having sex. I mean, they're not really having sex, they kinda just... Oh, look, they made a baby. Good job, guys. Wow, it really does come out between his legs. Amazing. That's a bit awkward. That's really awkward. Does anyone think that? Like when they see this happen? Okay. Congratulations on your new child. Whoever it was, you all look the same to me. Anyway. Yes, my mum plays video games. That's pretty cool. I keep trying to get her to pick up more and more complex video games, but she's kind of taking it slowly. I don't know, I think it's good to, you know, it's always good to exercise your mind, and that's what video games do, right? No matter if you're like a kid, a child, no matter if you're 5 years old or 15 years old or 50 years old. I mean, there's so many different games available. There's no reason why you can't find something you like and, you know, play. See, I like that already. I don't even know if I have to make it curtains. I guess I should, just because the shape of it is pretty good. So, I guess I'll continue it up to that level. I don't know what I'm gonna do above there, but I do want the curtains, just because I need something to define the entryway. How should I do this? Should I do it semicircular? Should I do it like an Arabic arch, a Gothic arch, a semicircular arch. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about when I say these things, and it's difficult to draw because we're using all squares, right? Actually, it might be a good thing to just kind of explain. I mean, like I keep saying you can look stuff up on Google. I don't know how many of you guys actually just pause the video and type things into Google when I say them. I mean, it's always interesting to learn, but maybe you guys are too lazy to do that. So let's try and just build small ones, right? So, you know, if you imagine that's a semicircle, like use your imagination and imagine those squares are in fact curves. So that's a semicircular arch. A Gothic arch is usually sharper than that, right? So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. In fact, let's just make it an odd number. We don't have to. Well, it's a bit strange now. Okay, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay, I just completely messed that up, didn't I? Derp. Alright, so if you imagine that these are also curves, so so Gothic arches, I'm missing a thing. So a Gothic arch is sharper, basically, that's all it means. And it usually comes to a point, whereas the semicircular arch is completely smooth. The Gothic arch will come to a point. So it'll be like two curves on either side joining at a point. If you imagine that thing is not actually square, it's actually a point. So then an Arabic arch has a double curve in it. So it curves, so it's like convex and then concave. I'm not gonna even, I don't know if I should try to build this because it's so complicated. So imagine if it's 2, and then 1, and then 2, and then that. Is that even, oh, that's pretty good actually. 1, 2, 3, 2. So that is kind of like that. So it's kind of curve out and then curve in. That actually, maybe I should do that on a bigger scale. The double curves. That's kind of complicated. Maybe I should draw this. No, I can just figure it out. Just do it by... I hate doing that. I can probably just do it by eye. I mean, there's all sorts of other arches as well. These aren't the only ones. But I guess there's some basic shapes. Okay, let's try the double curve. The so-called Arabic arch. I mean, it's Arabic, but it's more Eastern European because the Russians also use it, I think. Although, to be honest, the Russians were also influenced by Eastern cultures. You know how Genghis Khan, was it Genghis Khan? It was Genghis Khan. Like, he pretty much came from the east and conquered a lot of what is Russia, and so for a while the Golden Horde was a huge influence on Russian culture. So there's some interesting Eastern influences in Russia that is somewhat related to, you know, stuff in the Middle East and all that. Anyway, that's history lessons that I'm probably not qualified to talk about. So it's like the Middle East, the Russians, and Indians. Well, Indians were... like, India was also influenced by Muslims who came from the West. And for a while the Mughals or the Mughals, or whatever however it's pronounced. Like they were powerful in India for a while, and they were Islamic. And that's also the the history behind the Hindus of India and the Muslims of Pakistan. That boundary between those two religions and cultures was also interesting. Okay, let's figure this out. How low do we want it to come down? We want it to flare out? We do. Yes. So it's a complete onion shape. And that's what they call them too, the onion domes. In Russia, in Middle East. Now the Kremlin's kind of funny actually. Like it's this red building with these multicolored onion domes on the top. It's really weird to be honest, but also fascinating. I don't know how many of you guys are Russian. Hope you don't take offense when I say your Kremlin's a bit weird, but it is. Alright, how wide should we come? Let's come there. And then just diagonal and then up. Let's just try this and see how it goes. One, two, three. I don't even know where the middle is. Oops. That's too far, isn't it? Okay, let's just see what that looks like. That's not what I want to do, but I just want to see what this looks like. Yeah, like, that's kind of what I want, except it's come too far to the right. We want to push this back by 2 blocks at least. Maybe even more. No, 2 blocks would do. So we need to push... Actually, no, it only needs to be pushed across 1 block. I guess we'll take out one of those. So, 2, 2, and then 3, 3, 3, 3. Fascinating. Fascinating shape. Oops. One, two. And I don't know if I want to put it there or push it back by 1 square. No, I want to. Let's put it here. 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three,